Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Hunting Adeline. I'm not really going to go into much detail of the beginning of the book because you remember those trigger warnings. This is a good time to actually adhere to those and really make sure that you are in the right state of mind when you read this, because it is yeah, it's a lot. Okay, I don't know what this says about me, but I honestly think this was my favorite out of this series. I don't know what that says, that our main character Addie was getting tortured in the beginning, but whatever. Okay, so let's run through it. Beginning of the book, Addie's snatched up. She's snatched up by Rio and Rick. We don't really give a fuck about Rick. Rio is going to become a confidant. They're going to have this trauma bond. Plus he's Puerto Rican and hot, so I looked up to see if he was going to be a love interest, and I was disappointed when he wasn't, because I thought the author might Bella Edward Jacob the whole situation. But no. I think that is an appropriate choice though, considering what the hell goes on in the beginning of the book. While Addie's getting kidnapped, you remember that club? I forget the name of it. That club, well, Zaid finally infiltrated it. He starts killing people. All right, boom, 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 going off. And then bombs start going off. And he's like, wait, what? This isn't my team. It was a setup. The society is there. They're trying to catch him. You want to know who the society is? It's only one person. And it's probably the last person you would ever think it would be. I'm not going to lie to you. Normally I see it coming and I'm like, okay. But I had no clue. I thought maybe it was somebody from Zaid's team. Or oh my god, imagine if it was Dea. But it wasn't. Remember Marky Mark? His wife. Of all people. Huh? She's big dog. She runs shit around there. So she tries to go and snatch up Zaid. It didn't last very long. I think he was captured for a total of 10 minutes. His team was on it. She tried though. They got Addie though. So let's introduce a few more characters. We got Francesca and Rocco. These two own the house where she's about to get prepared to be auctioned off to someone. Not funny. That's not funny. I'm a little uncomfortable. She gets brought here, well, after almost getting kidnapped from the doctor that had to see her because Rio, of course, decided to run her into a ditch. Glass shattered, cut her up, Addie leaves this place with quite a few injuries, more than just emotional injuries. Rio is put in charge of taking care of her wounds because he's the one who broke her. He needs to fix her. Francesca's words, not mine. Addie decides to come in here and play savior. I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but yeah, she decides to defend one of the girls who's getting her face cut into. I don't know about you, but my survival instincts would probably just be there is no way out. And unless I want my face cut into, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But we know Addie has never been the type of person to use common sense, so this is to be expected. Gets punished. This is her first punishment at the time in the house. It's a really, really not so great scene. I'm not gonna explain what happens. If you want, you can read it. It's not pretty. It's not. So at the time here in the house, main goal is to get these girls sold off. In order to be considered worthy of being bought, you have to pass this thing called the culling. What is the culling, you may ask? A bunch of rich old guys come to this house where these girls have been abused over and over and over again. Again, not funny. I'm uncomfortable. They take bow and arrow and they hunt. The girls are thrown into the woods that are booby trapped. So that's fun. Come the day of the culling, Xavier Delano is a very esteemed person. Francesca's like, look, one of y'all gotta catch his attention, okay? I need people to know that I make the best girls. Blech. Xavier sets his sights on Addie, of course, because why wouldn't he? They're running through this forest, and he went ahead and quoted fucking Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your favor. Because he thinks he's funny and shit. Anyway, Phoebe, one of the other girls there, decides she's gonna follow Addie. Well, Addie was given some very good advice. She was like, oh, I gotta cover my tracks. I have to avoid the booby traps, right? There's certain amount of steps you can take before you know that a trap is coming. Phoebe don't know that shit. And she is just going crazy, being loud, leaving her tracks, which are leading them obviously right to freaking Addie. So Xavier and whoever the hell is hunting Phoebe, obviously thanks to Phoebe, find them. These girls run like it ain't nobody's business. This scene is like crazy. It's just insane. Phoebe can't do it no more. She can't go. She can't keep going. She waits for her hunter to come and uses the trap closest to her to catch him. Yeah, crazy. He's hanging there just like off a thread, and then he dropped his bow and arrow. Can you put two and two together and guess what Phoebe did next? Yes, ma'am. Phoebe. I was like, okay, bitch, I see you. Yes, we love it. Addie took this moment, this distraction, and disappeared. She got to the safety spot and she just kept running, because I don't know, she just felt like she needed to keep running. She finds a train there with cabooses. They're abandoned, and she's like, I hope nobody knows this is here, so I'm gonna walk away for a bit, because she's plotting. Okay, Addie's a smart girl. I mean, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. When we get back to the house, we realize that Phoebe and Bethany, the girl who was getting her face in the beginning, are the only two to be caught. Francesca's elated. Okay, she's like, only two this year, yay. While these girls are getting their punishment, which I did not expect to be as grotesque as it was, the other girls are upstairs beautifying themselves. Okay, they have to make a good impression so they can get purchased. Addie comes downstairs. This is when we kind of learn Rio's background a little bit, because he saves her from Xavier to change her dressings. We find out that they actually have his sister. The society has his sister in one of the houses like this. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be putting anybody through this or kidnapping people in order to bring them into this human trafficking ring thing, but he has no choice unless he wants her to be sold off to God knows who and fall off the face of the earth. He's got to play nice. You kind of start to get a little bit of a soft spot for Rio. I mean, not that you didn't already, because come mi princesa papi. So the girls are back outside for the event, and Addie's like, what? We just had an event. What are you talking about? The girls who got punished, again, brought out, there were things not right, body parts not where they should be. These girls went through it. The rest of the girls in the house that were safe were told it's up to you to put them out of their misery. So they did just that. Sydney, one of the girls there, who is basically, other than the obvious tormentors, another tormentor for Addie, setting her up to get her in trouble and just make her stay there at living hell. More than the average amount of hell that is being lived in this house. Eventually, we go to Zayd's point of view. And honestly, at this point, I'm like, Zayd, where the fuck are you? What are you doing? He's doing what he can, I guess. He had to heal too. He had some injuries. He ended up carving a rose into his heart. Not in, you know what I mean. Into the skin above his heart to remind himself of the pain of losing her. Because that's what's important right now. Carving on yourself instead of finding her. Yes, if they end up tracking down these guys who are in the black market, they pick up people who are in this human trafficking ring to sell their organs, quotation marks. These guys aren't really doing that. They're actually saving these people, but nobody knows that except Zayd now, because he found that out. He pulls up to the grandma's house and is like, where are your sons at? And they come over and they kind of talk everything out. They have all the information regarding where the girls are being kept, and not just Addie's house, and those girls. I'm talking about all of them. Where the girls are being kept, how they're being transported, when they're being transported, what channels are being used, all of that. Zayd starts to show up to these auctions. He buys all the girls, saves them, sets shit on fire. We go back to Addie. She's unofficially Xavier's to do whatever he wants with. He's only allowed to come once a week, but in that once a week, the man does a lot of damage. He's very much into knives and blood. It's a lot, and he wants Addie to love him the way that she loves Zayd. You know how Zayd kind of forced his way into her life? He didn't always wait for consent. Let's be honest. That's kind of what Xavier wanted from Addie. That wasn't happening, clearly. While that was going on, Zayd went to an auction He's been doing that lately. At this auction, lo and behold, Jillian and some other bitch with glasses, I don't remember. They're from the house with Addie. Hello. Zayd buys them. Oh my god, that sounds so weird. Sets the place on fire. Goes back to the car where the girls are being taken care of and treated by his team. And look, I will get revenge on anybody that you want me to get revenge on. I'm looking for somebody. Jillian's like, what's up? Like, let me see. Shows her. She's like, that's Addie. Yeah, she was at the house that I was at. Where? You dipshit. Hello. I don't know. But I do know that I counted the time between here and there, and it was about an hour away. You do with that information what you will. Then she gives him Francesca and Rocco's name. From the other girl with the glasses, he gets Xavier's name. No, she didn't give Rocco's name. She just said Francesca's brother. We head back to the house with Addie. Claire decides to pay her a little visit. And she's like, what the fuck? What the? Who the? How? What? What? You? Huh? And Claire's like, surprise. Your little boyfriend keeps setting my shit on fire and unaliving all the people that are at this auction. Yeah, we're not putting you through the auction. We're doing a direct buy. Xavier has you. Congratulations. Get ready to be transported in a few days. Bye. Addie goes and writes down in her little notebook that she found, starts writing out a plan. But guess who pops in? Boom. It's Sydney, her tormentor. She's like, I know what you're planning. I'm going to tell him you're planning on running away. So Addie realizes one of us is not leaving this room alive. Her and Addie go at it. Clearly Addie wins. Rio comes in and is like, yo, what happened? She's like, sorry. It's like, what are you going to do now? She's like, I'm leaving. Look, if you help me get out, I will tell Zayd to save your sister. He's like, deal. He takes care of the guards, and then he's like, look, let me tell you something. Rocco's friend is sleeping on the couch. They're high off their asses, so just be quiet. You should be good. She goes downstairs. She gets water bottles, snack, knife. Starts leaving. Drops a water bottle. Goes to grab water bottle. Drops another one. Rocco's friend wakes up. She takes the knife out and takes care of business. She walks outside. Where does she head to? The train tracks. On the other side of this, they found the house. They went online. They were like, that's weird. These train tracks say that they're active, but that train has been out of service for years. So what could possibly be in that area that would be active for human trafficking? And they find a house. Then they find a truck with a license plate registered to Rocco. Nobody knows the name Rocco. So he calls Jillian up. He's like, what's up? You said Francesca had a brother? She's like, yeah, Rocco. They got him. By the time they get there, there's a search party going on. Zayd decides to stop and ask one of the people in the search party, I don't know, hey, so what are you guys looking for? And he was like, my dog. Dave was like, you must really love that dog. Needless to say, they find Addie. It's a great reunion, except she can't even be touched by Zayd. She's going through it. She's depressed. She's not the funny girl that he knew before. She's got no fire in her. It's a walking zombie. She has no idea how to be normal. I don't blame her. Like, the shit that they went through in this house, crazy. The second part of this book is really just her coming out of her shell again, getting through the trauma that she's been through, and rising from the flame like a phoenix. The second part of the book is when all the smut comes in, obviously, because the first part of the book, there was nothing. It was giving nothing. Smut gets real crazy. I don't know. So obviously, I'm not going to go into detail of every single thing. Their intimate lives has always been a little violent. I thought blood and knives and cutting and all this shit was Xavier's thing. Why are we doing that? I get that, like, Zayd's trying to get her to take her power back from the trauma that she's been through. He's trying to fill this memory with something different. He's cutting over her cuts, so the cuts remind her of him instead of Xavier. Teaching her how to take her control back over her body and letting herself enjoy pleasure. It does eventually happen over long periods of time. The main thing is that they're all, tracking down these people. First of all, let's talk about Rio's sister. Yes, we did not forget about her. So she goes and meets Rio's sister. Adeline does. I'm back. Okay, so Rio's sister lets us know Francesca was SAing Rio. Oh my God. Addie's like, you still want to kill him? And Zayd's like, yeah. So we fast forward a little bit, and guess who's back? Back again. Sibby's back. That's my friend. I loved her so much. But anyway, yeah. So Zayd found her walking the streets because she broke out of the mental hospital they put her in. Now she's joined the troops and she's helping track down Francesca, Rocco, and Xavier. They find Francesca and Rocco in a dirty-ass, dingy-ass motel. Fitting. And Addie actually is the one who takes them down because, get this, Zayd has been helping. Addie gets stronger little by little, and so now she's built. Yeah, she beats them up, okay? She knocks them out. Pop, pop. And then Zayd's like, I'm so proud of my baby girl. Mwah, right? They finally track down Xavier, so he's going to be going to a club. It's basically a woohoo club, okay? Everybody gets to do it in public. There's viewing rooms, and then there's rooms that you can go into with people that you meet, right? And they're supposed to be lock free. So they got it in their heads. They're gonna corner him. They're gonna take him to a room, and Addie's gonna hit him with the 1-2 combo, and they're gonna take him out of there. Well, lo and behold, the doors lock. Xavier has a button to lock the doors because when you're rich, rules don't apply to you. So Addie's like having a freaking panic attack. He almost gets away with doing what he's been doing for the majority of the book. Addie's fight or flight kicked in, and she realized, I'm not that weak little beep. I was back then, okay? I don't know why I censored myself. I've been cussing this whole time. While she's kicking Xavier's ass, Zayd and Jay are trying to find a way to unlock this freaking door that's bolted. Zayd comes in. He almost kills Xavier, and she's like, stop, he's mine. Like, I want to be the one to do it. Hi, hello, new day. They take Rocco, Francesca, and Xavier down to Addie's basement, and they torture the shit out of them. Sibby is having so much fun, and it's always so much fun to watch Sibby have fun. I love her. I think I said that already, like, a lot. They go ahead and take these three out to the woods, weapon in hand. And yes, bitch, it's the culling part 2, except now the roles are reversed. And Francesca's crying, Xavier's throwing a fit, Rocco's crying like a little bitch. Adeline is like, okay, I got eyes on Xavier. And this is when I'm like, okay, me and the author must be on the same wavelength, right? Like mentally, we just might have the same fucked up brain. I don't know. I was like, it would be so great if Adeline and Zayd ended up doing stuff in front of Xavier. Next thing you know, Zayd's right behind her, and they get it on and pop, and Xavier's like, stop, such a when I tell you I got up out that bed and I was kicking, screaming, crying, throwing up. It was so great. Thank you so much for letting this shit come into fruition. I think we can all assume that it was the end of everyone's life at that point. No one made it out alive. Next, it's Claire's bitch ass. They gotta track down. She's already tried to kidnap her parents. Her mother ended up getting shot because of it. Her father disowned her, and her and Zayd got into it. He left and told her, run, little mouse. There will be no one chasing you this time. My heart. Like, what the fuck? But it's okay. She chased after him because she knew she fucked up. And, she ended up getting tied to a tree. He wanted her to bleed for him because that's what they do now. But after all that fiasco, they finally tracked down the two guys who work with Claire, had them trick her into thinking that they captured Zayd and Addie. Obviously, they didn't. That was clearly a lie. And Claire kind of figured that, so she came prepared. She came with a deal. If you join me in building the new world order, I will stop all the suffering. I will stop all the human trafficking. No one will ever have to suffer the way you did, Addie. And Addie, she's just like, so you're trading one form of slavery for the other, right? Because they have to follow everything that Claire wants. Nobody has any free will. Addie's like, no, bitch, no. Claire snaps. And Zayd's like, you know what's wrong with you? You don't know how to make deals with people. How are you going to insult my only reason for living right after trying to convince me to be on your side? Bombs start going off, girl. And this time, it is Zayd's side. All of Claire's men, R.I.P. They have been unalived, and that is when Zayd grabs her by the throat, goes ahead and slits it, and then burns her alive. I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing at that, but it's okay. That's the end of Claire. Happily ever after, right? Well, the story's not over yet. Soon, Addie and Zayd make it home. They have, woohoo time. They're bumping nasties. And then Zayd pulls out a box. It's a ring. And Addie says yes. So they're married now. The end. Thank you guys for walking through all of this with me. So next week, it's gonna be a crazy one. I'm not really sure which one I'm gonna decide to do yet. It's gonna be a surprise for both you and I. If you made it this far, thank you. You're a fucking trooper. Go ahead and like and subscribe. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want what happened to Claire to happen to you. We not go threatening the viewers, okay? I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding. See you guys next week. Bye-bye now.